Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you will please remain standing as we remember those who have lost their lives overseas in defense of this country, and particularly those here in our community. Ann Kristoff, Susan Marshall, Orestes Mamalis, Edgar Hembry Jr. Thank you. Yes, yeah. I was on the school board with them. I'd like to welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. Everyone in the back, we appreciate you guys coming. Come on up if you want. Public comment on agenda items. Liaison department head reports. Police.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Trustees, ladies and gentlemen. For the month of September, the dispatchers took in and dispatched out 1,383 calls. The department made 23 arrests. There was 98 summonses issued, 47 in parking and meter tickets, 51 in traffic. Revenues for the month, meter collections was $2,200, meter fines $225, village tickets $1,890, and $28 in report fees, for a total of $4,343. The police department's been busy. I thought you would think with the summer months winding down, I think would calm down a little bit, but we've been very active. One of the things that we had experienced was there's been a lot of cadet activity in the village, and that sometimes brings with it some negative impact on the village. So today we had, to be proactive with it, we met with the tactical officer from West Point, Colonel Merkel, and Cadet Captain Welsh. And we wanted to talk about initiatives to help not only make the village's residents experience positive with the cadets, but for the cadets' interaction with the village a positive one. So we're going to try some initiatives on the weekends when we know there's going to be influx of cadets in the streets and out enjoying a night on the town, like after an Army football game or something. And so we're going to work together to get that done. The mayor and I had met with the colonel this morning, and I'm pretty positive that we're going to see some good things out of it. We got the DWI season coming up, so the county has awarded us $2,000 in DWI funds to help their collaborative efforts with the state to do some extra patrols to identify DWIs, driving while intoxicated drivers. Also, I had applied for a Governor Traffic Safety Committee grant to help with enforcing seatbelt violations, aggressive driving, and that nature, and we were awarded $3,920 for that effort. And that's all the grant money I've gotten so far. As you know, me and the other department heads, we always try to seek out grants and to get grants to bring it into the municipality to help supplement our patrols and also try to supplement the budget. If the board has any questions, I'd be more than happy to take them.
Bob? No, I don't. No? Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it.
Hey, Chief.
Fire?
Fire. Some really cool news. The Orange County Volunteer Firemen's Association held its annual convention and parade on September 27th. The fire department is very pleased to report that the hard work of its members paid off with our engine 428 being awarded first place trophy for the best engine. Our engine, this is the newer one, is a 2001, and I can personally attest to how many hours went into spiffing the old girl up, and we were thrilled to death when she won. the fire department is still in the midst of installing smoke detectors. If you're interested in more information, go to the website at hffd.net or call the firehouse at 446-2040 and leave a message regarding smoke detection installation. And the third item that I hope the board will take informal action on. We had a meeting with a representative from Senator Gillibrand's office. And the next round of federal and state funding opportunities for fire and emergency services apparently is coming up in about a month. In the village, we're very fortunate to not only have a good group of volunteers who are highly trained, but we also have some distinguished professional firefighters. And one of them in particular has in the past applied for some serious money for grants and has been extremely successful. I believe he's willing to do that again, but he also tends to negotiate our budget for the fire department with this board. And I would like us to make some kind of a commitment that if we are successful again in getting some significant money for breathing apparatus, an essential piece of safety equipment that we have been putting into the budget. I think per person, the chief just came in, is it $5,000 per person?
It's close to that.
Yeah. If we get a grant to offset what we budgeted, I would personally like to see this board make a commitment that the money saved through the grant would go into the reserve fund for vehicles and trucks.
That's your game plan?
No, that's not Steve's,
Watch
this
it.
is my doing.
I think that is standard. I think that's something, just so you understand that we've done that, we're reaching out to all the department heads. If the department head is generating money, they will benefit from the generation of the money. There may be something taken off the top, going back to the general fund against what we're already giving you. But, for example, when DPW did the collection of the metal, a couple grand they picked up, it went back to DPW. We're doing the same with other department heads. I'll put it in writing right now. You get the grant money, we'll put it in a fire contingency. If you get grant money against what we've already budgeted for, that money can go in a contingency for fire,
Good deal.
on that specific thing.
Do you need
Each one I'll have to, no, no, we do not. That's my word. And that's what we're gonna run with.
That's
anything else?
enough.
Is it? You sure?
I think so.
I do have one more note to add to that. It is Fire Prevention Week, and the theme of it is working smoke alarms save lives. Test yours every month, unless you have one of our newly installed smoke detectors, which are good for 10 years with the battery installed. Lithium batteries last 10 years. So if you don't have working smoke alarms in your house, or if you have old ones that you don't think are working, give us a call. We'll check out your room, your house, and we'll install new smoke detectors throughout your whole house.
Steve, I do have a follow-up. The fire company will be at the Fall Festival on October 18th. Will we have smoke detectors and other information at that?
Well, we're not gonna hand out the smoke detectors because we're gonna install those ourselves.
But could people sign up?
Absolutely. They can come, we can show them what we're installing, they can make an appointment, and we can get to their house, see how many they need for their specific house, and then we can go and install those.
Steve, do you hear anything about a recall on the kids' smoke detectors? Did you-
I have not.
I got an email from an electrical underwriter on the other side of the river saying that there was a pretty big recall on them a couple days ago. And I don't know which specific model, I'll have to find out, but,
I'll have to look into that.
yeah, I think there was something happening somewhere on a product problem.
I will look into that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not the ones that we're we're installing, but I'll look into that to make sure.
I don't know for sure whether it's line voltage or just battery ones or not, but
Right.
I did.
We'll get that information, and at the fall foliage, I should have something explaining, that people know if they have this make or model.
Well, I'm sure that if you got them, they'd probably want to contact you to.
Sure,
to
sure.
notify you that there's issues, so.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Do these actually specify just the fire detectors, or is there also carbon monoxide detectors?
No, it's just fire detectors.
Okay, so there's
Smoke-
nothing in place
it's
for carbon
not a-
monoxide?
Yeah, it's just a smoke detector, that's not for carbon monoxide.
And the key here is not to take this lightly. This is not just some party giveaways that the fire department's doing. These save lives. So if there's people out there, if you're not 100% sure your fire, even if you are 100% sure, contact the fire department. Let professionals come in and make sure you're in good shape. Zero money, we're talking here, none. Let them come in, make sure they're in the right spots. You may have perfectly working smoke detectors in the wrong spots. They know where to place them in your house so they'll be the most effective and the safest for your family. Please, don't let this go by. This is a great opportunity, and the more people that take advantage of it now, the better they'll do on the next time they go for these grants, because they will show how much response from the public. If only a few people use these and they have a ton of smoke detectors sitting in the fire department, it will not help them when they go after more assistance in the future. So please, take advantage of it. If you have great working ones, they'll tell you. They won't put other ones in because you have the same model. You're doing it right, you're a good job, and they'll move on. But we're asking everyone, take advantage of this opportunity. The fire department is reaching out and doing a great thing, and we'd like you to make that happen. Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Sewer?
It's not that time and.
Correct.
Making water on it.
Gotcha. I have just a couple things on the DPW. How are you? Here you are. A couple things in the DPW. Kevin Hurst went ahead and contacted O&R and replaced a lot of the lights in the community, a lot of the streetlights. There were some concerns when people all of a sudden were getting areas lit up and they were concerned it was too bright. We like it bright. What we will do is, people were concerned, we would ask those people that are concerned, better than complaining to your neighbor, who complains to their neighbor, who finally calls me, contact the village if you have any issues, and we can probably solve them. There was a person that had an issue with a light going right into their place of where they live. That's fine, we might be able to adjust it, but we're not gonna do anything if you don't come to us. So you need to get us the information. I'm gonna swing right into the mayor's report because we're done with the department heads. On that, I wanna thank two community residents for complaining. One was on a road that was just done by Central Hudson. And they live on the road, and they were very concerned because they were hoping the road was gonna be done properly. We were told it was gonna be done properly, and they didn't do it properly. Because of his complaints, we made sure to get a hold of Central Hudson, and now we're meeting with Central Hudson to make sure it's done properly. We need the public to be involved. There is way too many things going on, way too many things that will go by the wayside. If you've called once, if you've called twice, call a third time. You're not being a pest, this is our job. We're here to make a great village. If something's bothering you, let us know. It might only be an informational piece that you may need to know. Yes, the reason why there's a lot more light in your area is this light was out for 4 years. We finally got it fixed by O&R, now there's lighting up an area that needs it. I would like to give a huge thanks to Janet Dutt and her crew, Bobby Pollock, Kevin Hurst and his crew, for the fall foliage decorations throughout Main Street and the other entrances to the village. I think they did a phenomenal job. I believe it looks beautiful, and I really want to thank Janet Duff for joining the crew, and bringing her people on board. With that, we are gonna reinvigorate
That works.
the beautification fund. Unfortunately, Vision, who has been taking care of the majority of things throughout the community, continually doesn't have the cash. They have it for certain things. Now, I believe they're gonna be in good shape for the winter, with the decorations for the winter, but we're looking for a good 4 seasons here. We have 4 seasons, we'd like to decorate for 4 seasons. And with that, we are gonna put a special letter out to the businesses, as well as asking the people, do you wanna be a part of it? Now, for those people, particularly with the businesses, oh, you're killing me, you're always asking for money. Yes, yes I am. I will continue to ask you for money. If you don't have it, don't give it to me. Certain businesses are doing well, they have the money. Give us the money. Other businesses that are struggling, don't give us the money. Make yourself strong. But these letters will continue to go out because we have to continue to try and raise money for the community. So for those people that are constantly, oh, they're killing me. I am a business owner too. I get the letters also from people that should be sending me the letters. Sometimes we'll donate, sometimes we won't. So please don't freak out when you get the letters. They're coming. Because we can do a lot more with our beautification. We can make this community the way it should be. On those lines, we'll also be putting more money in the celebration fund. We have the Halloween coming up. We have a couple people doing a phenomenal job. Right now, scheduled, we're looking at something tonight, but already scheduled, we have the Halloween parade into the trunk or treat, which is gonna be a great event this year. And also the Fort Montgomery Fire has their party down at the firehouse. We wanna build these up, and we want it year-round. Halloween, the Christmas season, in the spring, summer with 4th of July, other events. We are a community of festivals, and we need to continue to build these up and support them. So the celebration fund, again, we're gonna be looking for, and more of that will be different as well as beautification. We are gonna be looking for corporate sponsors. So if there's anyone out there that has contacts, I noticed when I went to the West Point Golf Course, Devitt's has signs up that they've done the flowers. Now, you're not putting the signs up just because you did the flowers, you're putting the signs up because there was some break. They were, they got they spent less money, Devitt put their signs up. If anyone has contacts, connections to help out with beautification or celebrations, we're looking for your input. We're looking not to tax the taxpayers as much as we can. I also want to thank Nick DeYoung. Nick donated several pieces to the senior center. They're already in. Tomorrow we'll be picking up the donations from Anthony Farina's family. So that's coming. It's coming along nicely. I would like to thank formally the TAC officer and the cadet that came today for the meeting. I do believe that, and it's because of instances that have happened and community members that complained that spurred this on. And these two gentlemen will be making a great stride for better, not just communication, but relations between the two communities. I'm very excited about that. That's it. Discussion on water rates. We have to make a decision by the next meeting. I'm asking Ed for some information. Again, understand that in the week to 2 week span, there's only so much information we're gonna get for this. I had several conversations over the last 2 days. What we need to do is have a long-term study. So between now and the next bill is when we will do a much longer study on what are the needs of the water plant, reserve fund, and the basic day-to-day costs. Look at those, look at the actual monetary money that we need, and that will help us come up with the next increase. So we will be doing an increase between now and the 20th. that increase is gonna be on us, and Ed's asked for a separate meeting again. We can,
Yeah, we need to talk about
We-
this.
we need-
There's some issues.
but we need to talk about it when we have more information.
Yeah.
So I'm asking him to get us that information within the week, and then we'll have more information to look at, basic information. This, so that the public also understands similar questions that were brought up. If we increase it 3%, what does that do for, well, to sewer, that's an easy number, but what does that do for the water fund? If we increase it 3%, are we putting the money in the reserve? Are we putting the money in this fund? Or this way, at least we give the public a little more knowledge of why. Bottom line, we've never increased the rates to help us set up the proper funds. The rates have been increased very, very little, and we're still behind.
We're still
So
borrowing.
we're still not, it's not even the borrowing, it's even after we get the money in from water, we're just making it.
Yeah, we're borrowing.
We're always borrowing
every year.
every year.
To
But even when we get the
cover
money back, we're just making, there's no money left in reserve. If we had a major issue with the water, we would have to go and bond, we'd have to borrow. We don't wanna do that. If we had a major issue right now, we'd have to borrow anyway, because there's no money there. But it's time to plan for the future, and that starts now. So there's gotta be money for that, for problems, there's also gotta be money for expansion. We're at 600,000 gallons a day. Technically, we only have the capacity of 7. We're close. It's a lot closer than you may think. You're like, well, 100,000 gallons. It's not that much when people start using it. So if we have a problem, we're in trouble. Then we'll end up cutting off people. We don't want to do that. So we've got to start now, and actually, rates will go up. But they will go up because they have to.
And the numbers that we pay for treated water is considerably cheaper than, per thousand than most towns and villages within the county. Our rates are $2.15, and the average in the county is $4.07 per thousand gallons. Our minimum charge for usage is $44, and everybody else, the average is 31, so we're higher on our minimum usage to build, to maintain water service. And then the average bill is $79, while ours is $65, and I'm talking about the county. Our rates are are very low per thousand gallons. As far as I'm concerned, as far as the minimum fee, I wouldn't want to raise that,
No.
because we're already high on that anyway. We'd have to go with rates per thousand, would have to inch up a little bit, and so the people that use more would pay more. The person who sort of conserves and the minimum bill wouldn't change. I was surprised to see actually how little we pay per gallon for water, looking at the whole picture in the county, and that was pretty good. And we got a great plan, we got great water. So this is a tough decision, but we want the plant to stand on its own 2 feet financially. We shouldn't have to borrow money from one account to slide into another to cover bills. And hopefully, we could have a reserve for these projects where we wouldn't be borrowing and paying long-term debt would be ideally the position we want to be in going down the road. So that's going to be a tough, I know there's going to be a difference of opinion on this topic. We'll come up with something good.
I think so.
The increase on the water, if we're talking 3 to 4%, it is relatively small, but the impact on the sewer becomes an issue then. So when we meet with Ed, I hope he'll have an opportunity to have some models done about how we could adjust the sewer, so that doesn't.
That won't happen this time. I'll just stop it right now. But anything you want from Ed, make sure you get in touch with him tomorrow. So he's got at least a week to prepare that. That way, if he doesn't have it, then there's an issue. But we can't, what I don't want, and I don't expect it from any of my department heads, to have a report ready we didn't ask for. So get specific on what you want, so that we have the information, and if he doesn't have it, then I'm gonna release you on it.
Okay.
Okay? Before I go to the next discussion, I just have one other thing. The Thayer Award was yesterday. Condoleezza Rice received that, she was on West Point. Bob and I and Charlie attended. We actually attended in rotation, so we didn't actually have a
That's the
meeting.
thing, we covered the whole thing.
Bob and I went towards the beginning, and Charlie actually went towards the end. Unfortunately for Bob and I, we didn't actually get to meet Condoleezza because she was late. But Charlie did, and it was a great experience. I was able to talk to a lot of our representatives at the reception. And this is an election year, and I just did want to bring up one thing from that reception. When I was talking to Senator Larkin, right now, he's being counseled because he was in a video with Senator Maloney. And for those that don't know, one's a Democrat and one's a Republican. The video was done because they were working together and they did great projects. And Senator Larkin didn't think twice about it. We're doing good things, and now he's telling me, you don't understand the grief I'm getting, because these guys are all over me, it's an election year. And he goes, Pat, I don't understand. What's the problem? And I don't care if I'm wrong by bringing Senator Larkin up in a village board meeting. That's who I want to be my senator. I don't even know who's running against him, and I don't care. The gentleman that doesn't care whether you're Republican or Democrat, just do the right work, is my representative. And I wanted to share that with you, because he was adamant about it. And I'm voting for Senator Larkin, and what I'm asking everyone to do is stay away from the smears. We don't have any local elections going on. It's all county, state, and federal. Really try and find out who these people are and what they stand for. What are they accomplishing? Not what the backroom politics is talking about. Because these people will help us. And some of our representatives now have done a great job helping us. It's important. Get informed when you come out to vote. Just don't vote the line. Don't vote because someone told me to vote. Get educated and make a good decision for our community. Okay, we have an event form. And Mr. Mulqueen has come to discuss it. If
Yes.
you would, stand up by Mr. Florence, face the camera, and explain to us what you have for us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, member of the boards. My name is Sean Mulqueen. I've been a resident in this town now for 13 years. My son, born and raised here, is now in high school. I'm a retired electrician, so I've got a lot of time on my hands. Basically looking to do something for the community. And one of the set events that had come up to mind was Halloween. Due to the fact of the location and the availability to control such things, I was looking to actually propose to the board a Halloween event in the Roe Park area, including with the baseball field. Now, obviously, I'm not looking to interact with any other thing. As a matter of fact, I'd like to work together with everybody and make it a whole big, great Halloween thing. But I was looking to actually have something like vendors, apple bobbing contests, carving contests for the kids. Starting at about 3:30-ish, you know, after on Friday, because that's when the first little kids get home. And then maybe something as well as, 6:30 before it gets too dark, obviously, for the older kids. I was looking to have also something for the adults, as far as like a dance contest, for couples dance contest. People that will just 80s kind of music, nothing out of control or nothing too loud. I've already spoken about this to the first community that I did, due to the fact of time crunch that I have to do something like this. What I did is I actually went around and found out, I went door to door to the community itself and gotten basically the idea of the community starting around Roe Park, because these are the people that would be directly affected. I have got numerous signatures here of town people that support this idea. Just to have it, just the idea of having something like this done. But not only did I want something like that for the kids, now I was looking for something too now on the other half of the park, which would be the lakeside area, to do some kind of zombie walk, some kind of haunted walk with performers, actors. I have a lot of resources. I already have a lot of people that would love to do this kind of thing, makeup artists, things like that. I mean, this was the idea when I came with the proposal for it, was the committee for a Halloween event at Roe Park. This one could include traditional Halloween contests for children as well as adults, including but not limited to pumpkin carving contests, things of that nature, costume contests, couples dance contests, vendors, and more. More importantly, like I said, I'd like to have some kind of zombie walk around the lake, obviously for the larger people that like large kids that enjoy Halloween. There seems to be a lot of them out there. I was hoping to have this something on a Friday and a Saturday night, which would be October 31st and November 1st. Now, I've already planted seeds in on here with my son's junior ROTC commander, I guess it is, Bergstrom, I think it is, and his daughter, which happens to both of them happen to love this idea as it is. The first thing I wanted to do before I proceeded any further with this is obviously present this to the board, get the ideas of what they might have for such said event. I'm not looking at this point for any kind of support, anything like this. I'm already getting so much support. As far as financial goes, if I have to raise it myself, I've got nothing but time on my hands. I could do that for the kids and things like that. But I was looking to get the Chamber of Commerce also on board, because I would go individual to business, if not for anything, particularly the Saturday that the Air Force game is going to be here in West Point. I'm going to be working that with my son, doing the chairs for the ROTC, and as long as the commander and everything says it's okay to do this, I will publicize this event. I would like to have certain restaurants, or all the restaurants, throw some kind of promotion to it. Come in for dinner, free appetizer with your meal, 25%, just outside to try and keep basically some of the people in the commerce to come into the town and enjoy food and give a lot of things a chance. But like I said, my first step here was to bring it to the board, see if I could get this done. I did go ahead, and I have no problem leaving all these names with you, and addresses and phone numbers, and these are all people that are local. And you can see I basically went door to door on this kind of thing. And all these people do approve of it. Now, yes, we got 4 weeks till Halloween. I can most probably get, I can do it. I can do it. I have the resources to do it, but I can't proceed any further until I come here to see if I can even get this event organized. I would be more than happy to present at the next meeting how far I have gotten once I was given the okay to do such said event, or I'd like to ask any questions. And I'll be honest, I only had 2 rebuttals of everybody I spoke to, and their rebuttals, I want to hear it from everybody. I want to hear the ideas. I want to hear anything about it. Was the fact of the, how did they say, undesirables coming into our town. Now, and I said the same thing as supported the 4th of July as well. I think the police force here is more than capable of handling such said events, and to actually look on the end of security purposes. If these 2 events were going on these 2 nights, I was also planning on, individuals. I have a lot more planned for it, but like I said, I want to get the idea that I can do it. I'd like to have kids brought in groups by responsible people that we all know, Padias, Vanzetta, just people that they know, as well as parents, to bring these kids around in said groups to the areas that aren't really, just people that want trick-or-treaters. I have a lot of ideas in my head, and before I proceed any further, I wanted to present this to the board and see if this is something that they would further, look into, or allow me to present a little bit more in detail. But as far as questions, I'd like to, if I was approved, first thing I would do is put together a board for this said event. Like I said, I'm not looking to steal any glory from anybody. I want to work with the trunk or treat. As a matter of fact, I can offer a lot more for them. I know the people that run the Bear Mountain Car Show, just things like that. We can all work together to make a great big event. So that was basically my idea, and I wanted to propose it to the board and basically get any feedback I could.
I think it's a great idea. People have been trying to do that for many years. If it's done successfully, I think it'd be fantastic. I have 3 reservations right off the bat. The trunk or treat's gonna go to at least 5 o'clock or 5:30. And as you say, you didn't want to interfere, I would look for something to start after that. 1, you need to walk the Roe Park Pond. It's not walkable. That's something that we've been working on. A lot of trees were already cut that were basically growing into the lake, but there's still a very small area that's safe to walk, let alone safe to walk at night. So that, to me, I would say yes, come, if you want to, come back on the 20th, let us know where you're at. But that, addressing that situation, if you wanna do something around Rock Park Lake, the safety issue. Who are you gonna have there on hand to make sure if someone does break an ankle or fall into the water, yada, 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 what's gonna happen with that? And the third thing is insurance.
Process number one, I'm sorry, was the walking way, was that the first
The
thing?
walkway.
Okay, well, and it also, to be the answer two and one, I was actually looking to possibly have either a first responder or somebody as medically equipped within X amount of, one of the performers or actors being a said responder or something to that effect of responsibilities within every 20, 30 feet of, because if it works out the way I'd like, there'd be a very large presence of actors and performers that, and I'm also looking into K104, that kind of thing, but as far as those goes, I would be looking, I already thought of that, and would be looking to isolate or individualize, okay, you're a responder, I need you here at this one, you're responsible for X amount of feet, so what, there's other 5 actors, you're the first responder, you have to make sure, and I've already spoke with people about that.
The biggest thing now is to come up with a game plan, not just what you're hoping to do, but what you're actually, by next, you have 2 weeks to the next meeting. This is what's done, these people have committed, these names
Right.
have committed, not just, well, they think it's a good idea, these guys are gonna be here, these guys are gonna be here, because at that point, it's the 20th, it's 10 days before Halloween, depends on how much you're gonna, I would put your board together no matter what, because if you don't pull off a massive event this year, there's a lot of people in this community that love Halloween and wanna do more things. I put your board together now anyway, because no matter what you can pull off this year, you keep that board together for the following year, and now you have a year to plan this great event and have it done by the summer. Everything's done, we're all set, it's going off, it's already been approved, we have everything. So no matter what, I think you should pursue it, without question. What we can do this year,
Right.
only because of the safety issue and the insurance and the whole nine, that's my main concern, is that we're safe and we don't rush something to get it done. If it's on a smaller scale and we can pull that off, maybe that. So I would definitely want to invite you back on the 20th, let us know where you were at. I think that we're in support of the event.
Absolutely. The concept
It's
is
to
well-
make sure that it's
correct.
done correct,
By
that's
the
all.
book, and that's what I understood. As far as insurance goes, I've spoken, I think it's Bob from the Board of Commerce, I'm terrible with names, I apologize. But anyway, I spoke with him and already brought this up with him. He's interested to see what the committee thought about this idea, because with the ideas that I have with the Chamber of Commerce, the insurance, I'm looking for them to cover. Basically put that, basically just another event for the Chamber of Commerce to basically cover, because that is a big thing, insurance and things like that, and to try and raise the money and things like that. I mean, I would like to do any proceeds, to be honest with you, which, if I had it my way, I'd spend the last $5 on an actor's scar to make it, that much of a great thing, especially the first thing. But any proceeds, I would look toward, definitely, proceeds going to Buffalo Soldier, due to the fact that I will be using West Point, and I'm not ashamed to say it, because they have a lot of our land, I'll be using them for leverage. I'm using them in leverage right now for talks with K104, for advertising purposes, for said event. I'm also in talks right now, believe it or not, with like producers from the AMC that do The Walking Dead. They're very busy right now, back and forth with the premiere, but they're talking to me. And if I can get the cooperation of West Point to do this, this can be something that really will turn out to be a wonderful event in every year. I mean, yes, it should have been done sooner, but the biggest thing to do it is absolutely getting up and trying something. Whether you fail or not, it's all there, everybody can see the goodness of it, but if you don't get up and try, you don't know if it's gonna happen, or whether it fails. And I'm not worried about it failing. I'm worried about it just not being as big. And if it just works out just for this town, fine, I'm happy. Keeps the kids in the town happy. But like I did say also about a security issue, being the location of this, anybody other than, that's not in a group of kids being taken throughout the community as this trick or treat thing goes, anybody who's not at this event, or walking around suspiciously, by all means, would be a suspicious character. Because anybody enjoying Halloween would be at this event, enjoying it. So therefore, it'd be pretty easy to isolate any potential threats or potential problems that evening to somebody who's not around that park area. In other words, if you got 3 kids walking up Schneider, not saying anything of any sort, but, they might be up to something, why ain't they at this event? Why ain't they, enjoying things like
I
that?
see where you're going, and on Halloween, they're all dressed as murderers to begin with, so it's gonna be a little tough.
Well, I have a lot
But
of.
just come back to us on the 20th. The two main things, again, it's not the end all be all, the two main things for me is the insurance, but also your game plan for safety.
Absolutely.
That's the two biggest things. And then we'll see you on the 20th.
I'd like to absolutely, and I'll offer any suggestions, any comments or anything like that. Pat knows has my number, it's in the office. Anything to do with this, I'll be contacting him, kind of directly with it. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or of any
I have
concerns.
one. Are you in the theater? Is that?
No, I'm very talented in a lot of things I've done. Unfortunately, health issues caused me to retire out of the electrical union. So, I basically have time on my hands. So I've loved this community since day one. The reason a lot of people don't know me is I've kept to myself. I've minded my business for a very long time. But now that my son is proactive in things in school, and a lot of people, I'm sure you know my son, he's a very good kid. I'm just getting to know, and I'm getting to know people. So I see the community could use something like this, and I can see the great things that can come out of something like this. But as far as like the thing goes, I'm going to put together a committee and have something legible for you here on exactly what I have planned and things to do. Like I said, if there's any questions at all, I'll be happy to answer.
Sean, if that number changes too, the amount of people, if you can get some sort of idea if this number is going to change.
I'm sure it is.
Keep us posted, and I think that maybe you should talk with Kevin Hurst too at some point in time, what your plans are, so, in other words, if you say you're gonna have 200 people here, this ain't a good idea going through this path, maybe we'll have this blocked off, it's just something to make.
Well, I can also use the alternative. We can't use the inside of the lake, we can also isolate the roadway on the outside.
Right, but you need to be in that equation, and we need to know
Right.
roughly the amount of people that'll be involved as you're projecting this.
Well, now that I have the okay to proceed, I am going to be very, very busy between now and then.
You have the okay to come back to us on the 20th.
Well, yeah, to see who's going to actually,
Right.
because I understand an idea is something, when you get people to commit to it is another thing. But I couldn't ask them to commit to something that I didn't propose to you guys yet. But once I propose that to you, and if half the people commit to that, that said that they would, this could be a really great event.
And the insurance is critical.
Well, that's very important, and I'm hoping, like I said, the Chamber of Commerce will, take care of that, because if I have to, I'll also, proceed. I wanna split the proceeds again with some other organization. I want one to be Buffalo Soldier, and I want another one to be either a well-known society, like the Cancer Society, or even the town here. I'm not into.
Village.
The village, well, what, Chamber of Commerce, if they take up the insurance,
That's not
okay?
Yeah.
Insurance
Okay.
is important.
I'm gonna cut you off, we're gonna see you on the 20th,
Okay.
and we'll have all the information then. We really needed that 95% of what's actually gonna happen, not,
Right.
these are thoughts.
Right,
Thoughts
oh,
are
no,
all around
I
20th.
totally understand that.
Thank
I
you so
didn't
much,
wanna-
Sean.
Thank you very
And
much.
I
for your
appreciate
time,
you
folks.
stepping out and taking your time out to make these things happen.
I love this town. Thank you, folks.
We're gonna move on to new business, the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting September 15, 2014, and a special meeting on September 22nd, 2014. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I have I'm gonna do that last. I have a resolution from the Orange County Real Property Tax Exemption for the village, for the water supply. Requesting tax exemption, the village owns water supply property, whereas the village of Highland Falls is the owner of the real property in the town of Highlands, identified on the tax map as follows. Section 1, Block 1, Lot 2, whereas the above real property is devoted solely to the public use as part of the village water system as catchment and reservoir, and whereas the real property tax law, section 406(3) provides the authority for each taxing district in which municipalities own property used in such manner is located to grant a whole exemption from real property taxes levied by the taxing district, and whereas such exemptions for the village of Highland Falls water supply site real property would provide a direct immediate benefit to the taxpayers and water users of the village of Highland Falls, which would enhance the real property ownership and exemplify a spirit of intermunicipal cooperation between the County of Orange and this village. Now, therefore be resolved that this Board of Trustees, on behalf of the Village of Highland Falls, its taxpayers and system users and citizens, hereby petition the County of Orange to grant a whole exemption from Orange County real property tax commencing for the calendar year 2016, or for partial real property in the town of Highlands identified as followed, section 1, block 1, lot 2. And if further be resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to each of the following to request their attention and disposition, processing of the same and affirmation action. Honorable Stephen Brescia, Chairman, Orange County Legislator. Honorable Melissa Boncheck, Majority Leader. Honorable Jeffrey Berkman, Minority Leader. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Roll call, trustee Mellon,
Aye.
trustee Murphy,
Aye.
Mayor Flynn.
Aye. This wordy document was basically to get the tax exemption for Bog Meadow from the county. And we will be pursuing that with the school as well again this year. I have a request for wastewater for reimbursement required certificate renewal fees for the wastewater operators. You have that paperwork with you. This has not been done before, to our knowledge, at this price. They basically, whether these fees went up and the whole nine is a whole different story. If they had to be done in the past, they were done by the individuals themselves. My only concern is, if we do this, then we're gonna pay for all the other, anyone with any other certifications throughout the village, anytime they wanna upgrade or renew. And then are we setting a precedent for the town, where now they have to, seriously? Where they have to now follow suit because these employees are pushing their employees, and we've all gotta pay for certifications which are not being paid for at this time.
We never paid for the certifications before, to your knowledge?
No.
Gene, is that,
You're second guessing?
no, I'm just wondering if it has been requested before.
It has not been requested before.
Is
It
there
is for
anything-
5 years, the license is for 5 years.
Is there anything in the contract that, do you remember, fees or anything like that? I don't remember either, I'm just trying to recall.
I looked it over, I didn't see it.
Okay, right.
If it was in the contract, it would be in the request. And I don't even know if the request we're gonna come through was in the contract.
Okay.
It's more of a, if the bill's here, pay it, or it's in the contract. They're requesting it because we believe that these amounts increased. And it's not just 160, it's 160 per person. Now, that's these two operators. We have two more
There's
operators
4 operators. Yeah.
that are gonna have to get theirs renewed in a year or
So we're
two.
gonna get a bill on that.
That's another $380. So that's $700-800 right there. That's not budgeted for. I think at this time, we don't have the funds to go into this. If they wanna work this through the contracts, different story.
Joe is part-time anyway, right? I mean,
Correct.
Do we need to have 4 the same, or two?
They actually have
senior
higher,
licenses?
yeah, they have higher
Yeah,
licenses.
those 2 guys do.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But that would be up to them. I mean, Joe, if Joe doesn't hold if he doesn't hold the certification, he can't get paid at that rate. If he holds the certification of a worker, he's gonna pay a lot less money. So he needs to keep that certification. But that's on them.
Do,
That's on us, that's on each individual with their own licenses and personal,
do we wanna talk to them first? Can we table this and
Sure.
a discussion to the next
that's not a
meeting?
problem.
Is that right?
Move the table?
Yeah.
So move.
Forgive me, everyone, I have a lot of work to do.
Take
Have
care.
a great night, thank you.
I have a request for borrowing from the water fund of $75,000 from the sewer fund, to be payroll and warrant expense. And that is from account 235200045 to account 235200037, Scripton Sewer Fund to Water Fund, in the amount of $75,000. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a budget amendment, whereas the insurance recoveries for the $907.50 has been received from the village's insurance company, Gallagher Bassett Services, Inc., and whereas this revenue has been designated to offset the cost of repairs to Assistant Fire Chief vehicle, now therefore be it resolved that due to unanticipated revenue from the insurance company, the Board of Trustees approved an amendment to increase the appropriation budget A3140.04, fire contractual, and revenue code A2680, insurance recoveries, from $907.50 for fiscal year 2014-15. Roll call. Or do I have a motion? Motion,
Motion.
second? Roll call.
Roll call, trustee Mellon?
Aye.
Trustee Murphy?
Aye.
Mayor Flynn?
I have another event request for breast cancer walk. You have the paperwork in front of you. Are there any questions?
The insurance form is here.
Insurance is right here.
Including a diagram of the walk.
Beautiful thing. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. We have a notice here. We have a notice here that Officer Brandt has completed the maximum 78 weeks of probation, demonstrated the quality and ability to take a successful police officer during this probation period. I recommend that we notify Orange County Civil Service, advise them of the completed probation. I do have to say, after talking to several officers and several community members, that Officer Brandt is a very good officer on the force. My only concern is, we had made a request, is my chief still here? Kenny? My only concern was that we did ask for this before they get to the probation period. So if for some reason this board deems that we don't want to continue this person's employment, that we can terminate their employment. At this point, we cannot, because they're past the probation
Yeah, at
period.
52 weeks, I had given you a similar notice, and then I was advised from you guys you wanted to go to 78, so.
Well, it was always 78. That never changed. I guess you wanted to notify us that her probation period was over at 52 weeks. And at that time, we didn't have any other evaluation that I remember.
Right. We need a very simple evaluation, at least a month prior, 2 meetings, 3 meetings before. This becomes law, because now we can't do anything. Not that we want to, but we want to have the option that if we're getting different reports, and we're getting there's a lot of problems, there's a lot of issues, there's this, that the board has the opportunity to say, we're either gonna extend the probation or let her go, or whatnot. We need to have that before we don't have the option, because now it's.
In this case, she has had a steady upward
Yes.
and very positive progress while she's been patrolling, so I have no problem.
No, I have no problems either, but it's for the future, for our needs. If we do have a problem, we wanna make sure we have that ability. Thank you very much. I also have I do have a resignation. I don't,
You didn't complete her probation.
do we have to vote on it? It's complete.
He's still
So if we vote against it, what does that mean?
nothing.
It's completed, but,
Really, this is just information. It's
okay.
not something we need to vote on. I'm just throwing it out there. Do I need to vote on it? I
We
will.
always have in the past.
Then
Okay.
I'll
We'll-
move the,
You can't move, I got this thing going on. I will move on this tonight, but actually, this is just a point of information. If we're going to do something with it, that's different. If we're accepting her, that's
It's
different.
board action, though,
It is board action.
that these paperworks get turned in, that it's board approved,
Okay,
so.
that's fine. Are we voting to accept the end of the probation period? Okay.
Is it a recommendation or is it
it's done.
I understand that, but now that it is completed, is there also a recommendation that she be made a permanent member of the force?
Yes,
See, now that's
the motion.
how it needs to be done. The motion needs to be a recommendation from the chief that she be made a permanent part of the force because her probation is complete. That I can vote on. Do I have a motion? Don't hate me. Do I have a second?
You do.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, we have a resignation for the parking enforcement officer. You have the paperwork in front of you. Do you have any questions?
Is Ken still back there?
He sure is. I know he is.
Ken, when we have the parking enforcement personnel stepping down, I know that they are outfitted with certain amounts of equipment. Do we get all that back?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, because they have to sign for it and we vouch it back in. So I have a size 13 pair of boots if you like them.
Very good.
The one thing I'm gonna ask to make sure that, until we find a new replacement, is that on Thursdays, when we have the additional manpower, that at least every Thursday that they go out, one member goes out that's already on, goes out and then does as many of the meters as possible until we find the replacement.
Yeah, they're still leapfrogging and they're taking turns checking them every day.
Not to check them, we have to empty them now.
Okay.
So a Thursday, someone
We
in
got
the morning, someone from the afternoon, because there's 3 on each, goes out, empties them, gets the whole thing done. Counting is another story, we'll do it as we can. But we need to hustle up, put that out there, figure out what we're gonna do with that. We'll have to meet with this week to figure out what we're gonna do with that, okay? Thank you. Going back, the resolutions for Orange County Real Property, no?
The
Property maintenance,
resignation,
public hearing.
the resignation,
Oh, we just did that.
you
Oh, we
didn't
hadn't
act
voted
on it.
Accepted.
I apologize. Do I have a motion to accept the resignation of our park enforcement officer?
I make a motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's unfortunate, he got a better job though, so that's a good thing. That's why it was like a full-time job, to my knowledge. Do I have a motion to accept the bills and claims for the fiscal year 14-15 in the amount of $210,000, $703.92? Really?
Well, it's really good.
Bob?
It's a big bag.
It is a big number, if you want to challenge, you
What's
would.
that section 8 there?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Section.
All those in favor?
And a couple of them.
Aye.
Aye.
Good, don't come back. I want to jump back to property maintenance hearings. John Hager has moved on several properties that we passed the new law for, property maintenance. And again, we need the help of the community. If you're a neighbor, if you're someone on the street, if you're someone passing by, and a property is in disarray, you need to contact the building department at Town Hall. All right, they will go out, they will make a determination, and then they will send the proper notices. Right now, these are going to be for us to take care of the problem and charge it to the owner. So I'd like to open up, I need a motion to open up a public hearing for the first resolution for 138 Murrins Avenue concerning violation of property maintenance. Do I have a motion?
Make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Okay, whereas the violation of, this is gonna be a couple minutes. Whereas the violation of the village property maintenance law, chapter 170 of the Village of Highland Falls Code have existed at 138 Murrins Avenue, designated tax map parcel, section 105, block 1, lot 18, Highland Falls, New York, 10928. Whereas the property owners have been given due notice and said violations have been directed to remedy the violation, and whereas the property owners were given due notice and public hearing was held by the Board of Trustees on October 7th, 2014 at 7 p.m. to determine whether the violation has been properly remedied and whether to order the corrective action be undertaken in the village to correct said violation at the property owner's cost and expense, to bill said cost and expense to the property owner and levy the same against the property. Whereas a public hearing was duly held by the Board of Trustees on October 7, 2014, and the owners did not appear, whereas the owners have not taken steps to correct the violation, and the violation still exists, and whereas the Board of Trustees is authorized pursuant to section 170-7 of the property maintenance law to authorize that the village undertake the remedy of such violation at the property owner's cost and expense. Now therefore be it resolved that the village its contractors and agents, or shall upon property to correct the aforesaid violation, and then all costs incurred by the village, including administration, legal and corrective costs, plus surcharge, be charged to the property owner, and such charge shall be added to the tax bill of the property owner if not paid within 30 days of the notification to the last known address of the property owner. as shown on the village tax records. Do I have a motion?
Oh, you already have one. We just have to vote.
Discussion.
Roll call.
Trustee Mallon?
Aye.
Trustee Murphy?
Aye.
Mayor Flynn?
Aye.
Is that house inhabited? Is there anybody in there?
No.
It doesn't look like there's been anybody there for quite some time, but I didn't know if they just kind of came in.
This is an emergency situation where there's nobody to speak with, to get any correction, so the only thing that the village can do is what the mayor's just read, that is, take action yourselves to make the area safe for people.
It looks like there hasn't been anybody there in a couple of years. I mean, he's got a Hound Falls address, but, I mean, is he gone or moved or? I just didn't see much action, or it didn't look like there was a soul around for that property.
I'm not able to-
Keeps to himself. I'd like to close the hearing on 138 Mearns Avenue. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
I need to open up the hearing on 84 Mearns Avenue. Do I have a motion?
So
You do?
moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Whereas the violation of the village property maintenance law, chapter 170 of the Village of Highland Falls Code have existed at 84 Mearns Avenue, designated as the tax map, parcel section 105, block 1, lot 1.1, Highland Falls, New York 10928. Whereas the property owners have been given dual notice and said violations have been directed to remedy the violations, and whereas the property owners were given due notice of the public hearing to be held by the Board of Trustees on October 7, 2014, at 7 p.m. to determine whether the violations have been properly remedied and whether the order of correction action to be taken by the village to correct said violations at the property owner's cost and expense, to bill said cost and expense to the property owner and to levy same against the property. Whereas the public hearing was duly held by the Board of Trustees on October 7, 2014, whereas the owners did not appear, whereas the owners have not taken steps to correct the violation and the violation still exists, and whereas the Board of Trustees is authorized pursuant to section 170-7 of the property maintenance law to authorize the village to undertake the remedy of such violation at the property owner's expense. Now therefore be it resolved, the village, its correct contractors or agents shall enter upon the property to correct the aforesaid violation, and that all costs incurred by the village, including administrative, legal, and corrective costs, plus surcharge, be charged to the property owners, and such charge shall be added to the tax bill of the property owners if not paid within 30 days of the notification of the last known address of the property owner as shown in the village tax records. Am I correct in the fact that the owner of 84 Mearns is not present? Am I correct in the fact that the owner of 138 Mearns Avenue is not present? Thank you. Roll call.
Trustee Mallon?
Aye.
Trustee Murphy?
Aye.
Mayor Flynn?
Aye, I'd like to close the hearing on 84 Mearns Avenue. I'd like to, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to open up a hearing on 53 Villa Parkway. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Whereas a violation of the village property maintenance law, chapter 170 of the Village Highland Falls Code have existed at 53 Villa Parkway, designated as map parcel section 105, block 3, lot 48.12, Highland Falls, New York 10928. And whereas the property owners have been given the due notice and said violators have been directed to remedy the violation, and whereas the property owners were given the notice of the public hearing to be held in the Board of Trustees on October 7, 2014, at 7 p.m. to determine whether the violations have been properly remedied and whether to order correct action be undertaken by the village to correct said violations of the property owner's cost and expense, to bill said cost and expense to the property owners and levy the same against property. And whereas the public hearing was duly held by the Board of Trustees on October 7, 2014, and whereas the owners present. The owners did not appear. Whereas the owners have not taken steps to correct the violation still exists. And whereas the Board of Trustees is authorized pursuant to section 170-7 of the property maintenance law to authorize the village undertake to remedy such violations of the property owners' cost and expense. Now therefore be it resolved that the village, its contractors or agents shall enter therefore upon the property to correct the aforesaid violation, and that all costs incurred by the village, including administrative, legal, corrective costs, plus surcharge, be charged to the property owner, and such charge shall be added to the tax bill of the property owner if not paid within 30 days of the notification to the last known address of the property owner as shown on village tax records. Roll call.
Trustee Mallon?
Aye.
Trustee Murphy?
Aye.
Mayor Flynn?
Aye. I need a motion to close, close 53 Villa Park.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
a favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to open the public hearing on 6 Cooks Lane. Do you have a motion? Second. All's in favor?
Aye.
6 Cook Lane, is 6 Cook Lane owner present? Where the violation of village property maintenance law, chapter 170 of the Village Highland Falls Code have existed at 6 Cooks Lane, designated tax map parcel section 104, block 8, lot 10, Highland Falls, New York 10928, and whereas the property owners have been given due notice, the said violation have been directed to remedy the violation, whereas the property owners were given due notice of a public hearing to be held by the Board of Trustees on October 7, 2014, at 7 p.m. to determine whether the violations have been properly remedied and whether to order corrective action to be undertaken by the village to correct said violation at the property owner's cost and expense. The bill said cost and expense to the property owner and the levy same against the property, and whereas the public hearing was duly held by the Board of Trustees on October 7, 2014, and whereas the owners were not present and the owners have not taken steps to correct the violation and the violation still exists, and whereas the board is authorized pursuant to section 170-7 of the property maintenance law to authorize that the village undertake the remedy such violation at the property owner's expense and cost. Now therefore be resolved, the village, its contractors and agents shall enter upon the property to correct the absent violation, that all costs incurred by the village, including administrative, legal, corrective costs, plus surcharge, be charged to the property owner, and such charge shall be added to the tax bill of the property owner if not paid within 30 days of the notification of the last known address of the property owner as shown in the village tax records. Roll call.
I have a question.
Question.
On this one. For Bill. Where the property owner has died, by serving notice to attorneys, or are we covered on this? If-
Attorneys are labeling it to the estate of the decedent, that there's been a kind of a proceeding and there's someone that's represented, whether the attorney for the estate or the fiduciary for the estate.
Do we have to amend the resolution to say where it says property owner or estate of said property owner?
We could do that, just in the essence of caution.
I would recommend we do that,
Fine. This is on Crooks.
yes.
6 Cooks Lane.
That's fine.
I saw somebody either moving in or moving out of there today. There was some trucks there taking some things, and I'm not sure, or moving in, or I don't know what's happening, but, yeah, I was curious too, what you do with a parcel that's tied up, maybe the will has something to do.
Well, they still have to pay their taxes on time, no
Yeah.
I know.
matter who's in charge of it.
Well, with
Whoever that
the
may be.
adjustment that we're stipulating, that the estate of has been contacted.
Right.
I'll move it.
Whoever that
All right,
may
you're
be.
good, you're good with that, Bill?
Yep.
Yes.
Good to go? Charlie, your, roll call.
Trustee Mallon?
Aye.
Trustee Murphy?
Aye.
Mayor Flynn?
Aye. I need a motion to close the public hearing on 6 Cooks Lane.
Make the motion.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to open the public hearing on 72 Mountain Avenue. What is, motion second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the violation of village property law, chapter 170, of the Village of Highland Falls Code, have existed at 72 Mountain Avenue, designated with the tax map parcel, section 104, block 2, lot 33, Highland Falls, New York 1928. Whereas the property owners have been given due notice and said violations have been directed to remedy the violation. Whereas the property owners were given due notice of the public hearing to be held in the Board of Trustees on October 7, 2014 at 7 p.m. to determine whether violations have been properly remedied and whether the order that corrective action be undertaken by the village to correct said violation, the property owners of cost and expense to bill said cost and expense to the property owner to levy the same against the property tax. And whereas the public hearing was duly held by the Board of Trustees on October 7, 2014, is the property owner for 72 Mountain Avenue present? Whereas the owner did not appear, whereas the owner was not taking the steps to correct the violation still exists, whereas the Board of Trustees is authorized pursuant to section 170-7 of the property maintenance law to authorize that the village undertake to remedy such violations at the property owner's cost and expense. Now therefore be it resolved that the village, its contractors, and agents shall enter upon the property to correct the absent violation, and that all costs incurred by the village, including administrative legal corrective costs plus surcharge, be charged to the property owner, and such a charge shall be added to the tax bill of the property owner if not paid within 30 days of the notification of the last known address of the property owner as shown on the village tax records. Roll call.
Trustee Mallon?
Aye.
Trustee Murphy?
Aye.
Mayor Flynn?
Aye, do I have a motion to close the hearing on 72 Mountain Avenue? Do I have a second? Those in favor? I'd like to thank Bill Florence and John Hager and all those involved. This is a step in the right direction. It's something that has been needed, and again, some of these properties have been vacant for a while. I really appreciate everyone coming together and to beautify the village. Okay. Public comment. Please.
Martha Allward, Church Street. I have been noticing lately on Church Street, kids on scooters, skateboards, whatever, going down the hill from where our house is across from the school, headed towards Cousin. No helmets, middle of the road. I haven't seen a kid with a helmet on, and I understand there is a helmet law. It's dangerous, well, because they're not going down the sidewalks, they're going down the middle of the street, and all you need is one car coming up Cousins, making a left onto Church, and that's where I see him, because that's where I live. And I asked the police officer, does anybody say anything? And he says, the law has no teeth, because you take the kids home, and the parents say, I didn't know the kid was out. Maybe you have to take the kid home 10 or 11 times, and then parents might say, either don't take the scooter or put your helmet on. It's just a safety thing. I don't want to be the one coming up Church Street, meeting a kid on a scooter, which I'm pretty sure doesn't have a good braking system. It's scary, and I just don't want to see anybody hurt.
Well, it goes beyond just scooters too. Marty
Thank you.
Burns,
Thank you.
who is the assistant captain of the ambulance corps, had planned to be here tonight to address a similar topic related to bicycles. So there does need to be a crackdown to help ensure that kids don't suffer a severe head injury. You can, to quote Marty, you can recover from a broken arm, but head injuries.
Traumatic brain injury is not something to fool around with.
Ken?
It's just scary. It's the scooter. I don't even see kids on bikes so much. It's the scooters going down the hill. Yeah.
3 times the charm. Apologize for bringing, I should probably have a chair for you closer. Between Ken and Bill, do we have something to put teeth on this or no?
Oh, yeah.
We do?
Right off the top of my head, there is a law in the books, in the penal law, it's called endangering the welfare of the child, and if we document that we've told a parent 2 times, 3 times, then that'll have teeth.
Yeah. It's just really scary. I don't want to see a kid hurt, especially in front of my house.
So I'll put a directive out.
Well, and then what basically, and this is why, again, this has probably been a problem for a while. We need people to speak up, because Ken and the police force have a full docket. They have a full,
I
no, we're not too busy. But what they're not doing is, they don't have the time to run out and do extra checks when we have 2 patrols and we're
Right.
dealing with this and that. But this is a huge issue. If we don't have people from the community coming and helping us and saying this is an issue, then we'll never know how big of an issue it is. So again, I appreciate, just as I said before, we need the input. And if there's other people that want to bring it up, bring it up, squeaky wheel, will be fixed.
And it's not, I'm
Quickly.
sure it's not just our street. I mean,
It's not.
I don't see kids with helmets, and I can understand, a kid doesn't want to look like a dork because he's got a helmet on,
But
but
make some pretty cool helmets.
And now they
those
do.
flames thing
And
can go.
besides
So-
that, if you're under 15, it's the law. If you're on a bike, you have to wear a helmet. And I wear a helmet if I'm on a bike. And
I have to say, about 3.5 decades ago, when my kids got their first skateboards, that they had to earn, the requirement was a helmet. They never got on the skateboard again because they didn't want to wear a helmet. But at least they weren't using them without helmets.
Now you know what I go through.
Thank you.
It's a much more serious issue than people may think. Because again, all it takes is one person to fall. not have a helmet on him.
And you don't even have to bad fall to get a brain
Exactly.
injury. It can be a knock, a little, it's just scary.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Any other public comment?
Have you set a date yet for the next water meeting? The meeting to discuss the water rates?
No. We have not. He wanted to address that, that's why I called him.
Yeah, well, speaking of the water rate, I realize that, Mr. Mayor, trustees, I realize that you guys have a tough job juggling the funds, especially the water fund, the sewer fund, and the money like that. I would just ask that if you could keep the increase to a bare minimum, it would be greatly appreciated, especially since reading in the paper that our town taxes are gonna go up. The village resident, town taxes are gonna go up 7% plus. So if you could keep that to a minimum, I'm sure the residents would be greatly appreciated.
Is 5 a minimum, or? It's under 7. Let's put it out there. We have not set a date. I thought he was actually gonna address that as well. We have not set a date, we have to set that. What's that?
$75,000 in the water fund,
Correct.
get it to zero.
That's one of the first statements. What we're doing is, we're probably gonna set it for next week. Why I need to, I wanted to check with Mr. Brown and Mr. Farina to make sure, because Anthony's gonna start Skyping in, that they were gonna be eligible to pay. Yes. The goal will be for next Monday, but we will put it out to the public as soon as we decide, figure out what day is best. It will have to be prior to the 20th, because that's when the decision has to be made.
Are
So
you
right now,
looking,
our goal is Monday, we wanna make sure it's available.
are you looking at the evening or the daytime?
Evening. Any other questions? Any other public comment?
Will you put that meeting date on the website?
Yes?
Sure, if it's
Thank
possible,
you.
yeah, I do, as best I can with dates.
And it's a special meeting, so it has to be posted in the paper as well. It can't not be posted.
Deadline?
Yeah, the deadline was today at 11. Did you
I
say
know.
you're looking at Monday? Because that's the holiday.
That's why I've been confirming.
Okay.
That's what we're looking at. Check, make sure.
Village Hall's closed, right?
Someone's always got a key. Yeah, as soon as we have that, we'll put it on the website, we'll put it out, and make sure people know. Any other public comment? No? I need a motion to move in executive session for a specific individual in a personnel matter. Do I have a motion? Bob, second, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody's help.